Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Saturday. Another week of Maryland's Cafe Society radio show right here on YouTube. Well, happy Saturday night. That's right, it's nighttime. You notice that, I've been kind of dragging getting these videos posted, but just hang on in there with me and we'll get back on schedule soon. But yeah, we did not want this day to go by without, of course, bringing you another edition of the show. And happy Father's Day weekend, by the way, all the fathers, especially my dad. Happy Father's Day weekend. So, what are you doing? Well, how was your day? Did you get into some of that last minute running around for the fathers? There was a time when fathers didn't get as much attention on Father's Day, but that's kind of turning around. I noticed out in the mall earlier today there were quite a few people out and about shopping for dads, so that's a good thing, right? All right, well, it's the 15th day of June 2019. Of course, I'm your host, Marilyn, of Maryland's Cafe Society radio show on YouTube. Again, happy to be here with you on this evening. We'll have this posted before midnight tonight so that you can, of course, enjoy it. So, how was your week? Mine was good, especially Thursday night. I caught Game 6 of the NBA Championship. Toronto versus the Toronto Raptors versus Golden State Warriors. And, of course, anyone who watched know that the Raptors won. Yeah, first time in history that they've become NBA champions. So congratulations to them. And Kawhi Leonard became the MVP, and deservingly so. He really worked hard and caught my attention. Yeah, I had not known who he was, that he even existed until these playoffs started a month or so ago. But a good player. Of course, the Golden State did as best as they could. KD tried to come back in Game 5 to, try to push the Warriors through, but didn't even last through the first quarter. And then, of course, the other guy, Klay Thompson got injured again, so he was out. So they did the best that they could. Anyway, it was a great series. And again, congratulations to Toronto. Also, congratulations to St. Louis Blues, the new National Hockey League champions. That's right, they took home the Stanley Cup for the first time in 51 years. And listen, from what I'm hearing, much like the Raptors, folks in St. Louis are still out there in the streets celebrating, and it is quite a big deal for them. All right, so listen, are you guys ready for on this day in history? Let's go ahead and get into that. I got some good ones for you, so let's just pull those up and take a quick look. So on this day in history, back in 1916, the first Boeing airplane, it was called Model 1 B&W seaplane, took flight for the very first time. So that was a big deal. And on this day in history, in 1921, the first black United States pilot, female pilot at that, Bessie Coleman, flew to France. Mark that down. And then, of course, it's Black Music History Month, and so honoring black music on this day in history. Oh, let's get this song queued up for you guys, too. I know you know it when you hear it. But on this day in history, back in 1968, yeah, it hit number 1 in 1968. And of course, this is the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, with that original version of Think. She, back in the 70s, she did a updated version for the Blues Brothers movie. But, yeah, this one became number 1 on this day in history in 1968. And, yeah. All right. on this day in history in 1974. I'm sure you guys probably heard about this group.
Now here's a wild new group that's really making its mark on the charts. 5 guys and a girl. Here they are, Rufus.
Yeah. Remember this song? Now this one, of course, is that jazz funk group Rufus. They charted, reaching number 3 on the pop charts with this song, Tell Me Something Good. It was originally recorded by Stevie Wonder because he wrote this song. And of course, the original name of the group wasn't just Rufus, it was Ask Rufus. And yes, the lead singer is none other than Shaka Khan, who went on to have a spectacular solo career. So yeah, on this day in history, back in 1974, this song hit number 3 on the pop charts. Tell me something good. By the way, folks, I don't own the rights to this music, all right? I do not own the rights to either of these songs. All right. And that concludes on this day in history. Now, let's get into some cafe news. I found some interesting business stories that I wanted to share with you. Of course, here's a good one, business and history related. I read that the United States Naval War College is getting their first female president. That's right. Her name is Rear Admiral Shoshana Chatfield. She will be the new president, and that's according to the Navy Secretary, Richard Spencer. They made this announcement earlier in this past week. And of course, currently she's a helicopter pilot who leads a military command in Guam. And of course, going down in history as becoming the first female in the United States Naval War College to lead it as its president. So congratulations to her. And speaking of women making history and big moves, did you hear about this story? Which really kind of surprised me because I always thought of this country as a, what do you want to say, an almost perfect country. And of course, I'm talking about Switzerland. The story is coming out of Geneva, Switzerland. It's reported that thousands of women across Switzerland walked off the job. They burned their bras. They blocked traffic. They just showed out on yesterday, which was Friday. And of course, it was all in demonstration to demand fair wages, more equality, and to end the sexual harassment and violence that is happening there. I didn't know all of this was going on. Like I said, usually I hear good things coming out of Switzerland. So I was kind of surprised to read this. There has been some discontent over sexism and workplace inequality. Just unbelievable, right? And so these women went on strike and protested, and they're also demanding more pay specifically for domestic workers, teachers, and caregivers, and all those other jobs that are typically held by women. Now, of course, that's just not in Switzerland. That's pretty much everywhere, right? You know, the men have, for the most part, run this world, traditionally hold our low-wage jobs. And so, yeah, I think it's a good thing that
they're trying to change that, right? All right, and then of course, I thought this was an interesting story because I had not heard of this particular burger chain. Of course, there's everybody and their mama is making burgers. I make a pretty good mama burger myself, but this story caught my eye because I had never heard of this chain, and there's a Chicago connection. And what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about Whataburger. Yes, Whataburger. They are a Texas-based fast food company that is looking to expand in more competitive markets. Well, they announced just this past week that Chicago-based BDT Capital Partners
has purchased a majority stake in that business, and by the end of the summer, they will, of course, be subject to some regulatory overview, but they should, of course, be large and in charge when it comes to Whataburger. Now, they'll provide some, that's BDT out of Chicago, they will be providing some long-term capital and guidance as Whataburger, which of course is headquartered in San Antonio, Texas, will begin to compete in other markets. Right now, they have just about 700 restaurants in Texas alone, and more than 150 in other southern states. So it looks like they have their eye maybe on the north and the east markets. So we'll watch that and see what happens. And speaking of burgers, in a related story, I think it was in the New York Times. There's a meatless burger that is disrupting the burger business. That's right. It's genetically modified burger that's made by Impossible Foods, and they supply this genetically altered meat to White Castle, Red Robin. Oh, gee, who else? There's another one. Oh, and Burger King. This Impossible Whopper that you guys have been hearing about. Yeah, that's where they're getting this protein, this genetically engineered. It's all soy-based or plant-based protein. It's a protein burger. It's not so unusual because many vegans and vegetarians have been eating these types of plant-based burgers for a long time now, but now they're popping up in some of the fast food restaurants, and apparently Impossible Foods can hardly keep up with the demand. So go figure. I guess a lot of people are trying to eat more healthier, but again, there's that concern from some folks who say that this genetically altered food that's being sold to consumers may not necessarily be best for us. So we'll just have to watch this and see what happens. But yeah, keep your eyes and ears peeled for a fast food restaurant called Whataburger. Going back to that story. And again, I haven't tried this Impossible Burger yet. Do you know anybody who has? It's debuted in Burger King. Oh, gee, just what? Back in the spring, right when spring started, maybe in April, I think. And I guess that's in 300 locations across the United States, and then they're going to roll it out in all of their 7,200 domestic restaurants by the end of the year. So if you haven't tried one yet, White Castle, this Impossible Burger at Burger King, and even Red Robin sells these plant-based burgers that you can try. Okay, and so I just wanted to share that with you because I honestly thought that was interesting. I don't know if you like burgers like I do, but just some interesting business news there. All right, and let's real quick take a look at the stock market. Well, things weren't looking so good at the Dow, the S&P 500, or the NASDAQ earlier today. The Dow was down negative 17.16. The S&P 500 was down a negative 4.66, and the NASDAQ was also down negative 40.47. Companies that were not doing so well include Broadcom Inc. They were down $15.68. ExxonMobil was also down just a mere 33 cents. Those doing pretty good, Innovative Industrial Properties, were up $7.57. Louisiana Pacific was up 81 cents to $25.68. Consolidated Edison was up 76 cents, and Facebook, lo and behold, was up $3.86. That's because they have some key companies now backing their proposed cryptocurrency. And what is that? Well, we'll have to take a look at that maybe on one of our next shows, but it's a big deal. And so they are looking good on the stock market as of today. Now, the oil is up 23 cents to $52.51. Gold is remaining up $2.50 up to $1,344.50, and the euro is still hanging in there. Is that up or down? Oh no, I'm sorry. The euro is down just a mere fraction of a penny. All right. So that's what's happening in our business news, everyone. I don't have any entertainment news for you on this particular show, but we'll get back at it. I promise. I do have some cafe talk, though, that I want to share with you. And hopefully you guys can chime in here in the comments, or I'll get this posted on my social media and you can chime in either on the Facebook, the Twitter, and that's it. All right. So here's the question. What are some good places to go for a quick summer getaway? You know, for a person who may not have time to take a whole week, or may just be able to take just 1 week, not do 2 weeks or a whole month. But what are some nice quick places that you would recommend for someone to go just for a quick summer getaway? Maybe 2 short summer getaways. I'd love to hear your comments again here on the YouTube channel, or find me on social media. As usual, I'll get it posted before the clock strikes 12:01 and we enter Sunday morning. Okay, so we'll do that. Oh, and real quick, the WNBA, I'm going to start trying to give them a little bit more attention. But here's what's happening this week with the WNBA. Of course, Connecticut and the Eastern Conference is still on top, 7 wins, 1 loss. But guess what? The Chicago Sky has jumped up to the number 2 position with 5 wins and 2 losses. So congratulations to them. In the Western Conference, it looks like Seattle is still leading, 5 wins and 1 loss, and Los Angeles is trailing with 3 wins and 2 losses. All right. So that's what's happening with the WNBA. And then just get your day planners out. If you're sports minded and you're into that annual crosstown throwdown that happens here in the Chicagoland area on Tuesday, June 18th, you can catch the White Sox at the Cubs. 7:05 is the game time, and they will be on Channel 9 locally here. That's WGN. Or you can catch them on NBC. What is that? The Sports Channel, NBC Sports Channel. And then they play again on Wednesday, June 19th. Again, the White Sox will be at the Cubs, same time, 7:05 p.m. And this time on Wednesday, they will be broadcasting on ABC Channel 7, but you can catch them online at the NBC Sports Channel as well. Also, on Thursday, June 20th, the United States versus Sweden, the Women's World Cup group play is kicking off on Fox 32. You can catch it televised at 2 p.m. And also on Thursday, the NBA, the National Basketball Association, will have their draft air on ESPN starting at 6 p.m. On Friday, it's the National Hockey League draft that will broadcast on NBC Sports Channel. Oh no, that's Comcast Sports Channel. And they will start on Friday at 7 p.m. So just for the sports heads out there who want to keep up with what's going on in the world of sports. I know I'm so behind on my sports, but we'll get back to normal soon, folks. I appreciate you all for hanging in there with me. Okay, so it's a short show. That is it. I know we got to get back to having our guests on and all that good stuff. And I know some of you have been wanting me to get back on camera, so To be honest, I just kind of been struggling with my hair. As you guys know, as soon as the weather starts to warm, I usually go back to my natural hair and my natural look. And on camera, to me, it just doesn't look right. I don't know. I'm just not happy with it, with the look on camera. And maybe that's because, this is, all kind of home home camera techniques that are happening here. I'm sure if it was more professional, perhaps the camera angles and the lighting and all that would be better. But I'll get there. It's not that I don't love my natural look. I love my hair. I love the texture of my hair. I love, I love the look of it, and just the ease that I have with getting prepared for work and my day every day. Just wearing it natural is just so easy. So that's not the issue. It's just how it comes across, how the look comes across on camera. That's all. That's just been my little thing that I've been dealing with. Not to mention that my schedule has been so crazy that I really haven't just had the time to do all that, get the cameras going and all of that. So, but we'll get back into it. I promise. And I'm still working on my next karaoke moment. I've just kind of been working with my vocals and my voice, but I did get some inspiration from social media last weekend. Was it last weekend or last week? Anyway, I know it was less than 2 weeks ago. I got some inspiration for a new karaoke song. I keep switching them off, and I'm practicing it, but I'll just give you a hint. You ready? I don't know if I'm ready. I'm choking up here. Let me see. Okay, I'll give you just a little bit of what the song that I am practicing, and you will recognize it when you hear me. I'll just do like the first couple of lines. Treated me kind, sweet destiny. Okay, that's it. All right, yes, it's going to be a Mariah Carey song. And I have to practice that. And I'm really, really trying to work out how I'm going to deal with the ending of the song, because, she has those voiceovers where she's doing the highs and the lows. So I'm trying to figure out which way I'm going to go. Am I going to go with the high, or am I going to go with the low? So I'll have it worked out hopefully within the next week or so, and I'll get it practiced. But in the between time, before we wrap up, and as we of course get in gear for church, get that church mindset for tomorrow, here's a snippet of a song that I like to sing around the house from time to time, and it helps me kind of just tune up my voice and keep my my vocals going. But I love it. It's a song by a gospel and praise minister. Her name is Dr. Judith McAllister, and it goes a little something like this. And again, for these songs that I'm singing, I do not own the rights to the music. Okay, so it's this song. Once I sing it, you will know it, because it's so simple and it's so easy. It's a praise song. So here it is. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good. He is worthy, worthy. for he is good. He is good. He is worthy, worthy, for he is good, for he is good. And then we just say it again. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. He is good. So I sing that, around the house, obviously much louder. It's late while I'm doing the show right now, so my voice is kind of settled, but that's one of my favorite praise songs that I sing to kind of get me in a better mood and to get me going and started during the day. And it keeps, like I said, it helps me keep my vocals and voice tuned up, so to speak. So just again, just sharing a little bit with you guys, just some proof in the pudding that the next karaoke moment is coming, and I am preparing and practicing and all of that good stuff. And again, I do not own rights to any of the music or songs that you heard on this broadcast this evening, tonight, or whenever you listen to it. Okay? All right. So I think that's it, everybody. Again, I just want to remind you to find me on social media, on Twitter at Marilyn's Cafe Soch, on Facebook at Marilyn's Cafe Society, my website, MarylandsCafeSociety.com, my blog on WordPress, Marilyn's Cafe Society. It's a nice blog, too. Check out the latest one when you get an opportunity. And then, of course, you can always find me right here on YouTube, Marilyn's Cafe Society on YouTube. Again, happy Father's Day, dads. All the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Hugs, hugs, hugs to you all. Happy Father's Day to my dad. Enjoy the day. Do whatever. Have it your way. It's your day. So hopefully your families are going to make you happy, and it's going to be a good day for you. Before we go, I want to share what love is. And love is the first person you think of in the morning. That's a good one. All right, people. Remember, if you don't do anything else next week, be sure that you live, you laugh, and you love. As always, it's a pleasure and a privilege. And we'll check in again next week, right here on Marilyn's Cafe Society on YouTube. Peace, everybody. Good night.